Okay, when I tell y'all, this situation has gotten the ghettoest of the ghetto. I don't even know what to say, to be honest. I am trying to make it work. We are going to make it work. Bear with me. But yeah, it's gotten real ghetto. Real ghetto. So bear with me. Please. You know, I saw a quote today that said, what did it say? It said something about real and fake. It said, it was a guy that put it as a caption on Instagram. He said, dang it, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out for y'all. Do we like introductions? The struggle I went through just to get it going, I don't even know if introduction is needed right now. But by the way, I am Gabriella Sabertini, and this is a Seat with Sabertini podcast episode 1. I wanted to talk about rebranding because I feel like I was going through a rebrand, but when I wanted to rebrand, this was like a year ago. So your girl's late. She's late to the party, but better late than never. I also heard a quote recently. No, actually, I heard a quote a long time ago. I just been saying it most recently. It's I don't know who's bad, to be honest with you, but the quote says, "If you start and it's perfect, you waited too late." And baby, when I tell you I'm 5 years in of waiting late, we're not doing it anymore. We're not doing it anymore. It's 2026, Gregorian calendar. So I don't go by this as a new year, but a lot of people do. So we hope to shift that soon. But if you educate yourself biblically, the new year is April 1st this year. And it is a brother at my Chicago location church, because I'm in Dallas. It's a brother at my Chicago location church, and he is able to explain. Shout out to Brother James. He is able to explain how the calendars work with the moon biblically. And when I tell you it's fascinating, and he does it for the kids class, the kids Bibles class, but when I tell you it's fascinating, it's amazing. So I think he has it on video. If he does, I will leave the link at the bottom. If he doesn't, I will mention that it's not on video yet at the link in the bottom of this video. But he has it, and it goes through the calendar, and it talks about like how the moon aligns so that the timing is different. And so it's actually really educational. It's really cool. So I'll leave a reference if I can get that information. But anywho, yeah, the quote says, if you start and it's perfect, then you waited too long. So I don't want to wait any longer. And it's not going to be perfect, right? Episode 1, See with Sabertini. This is what I'm giving you. And so I wanted to originally start with rebranding. And I've been working on rebranding for a long time, but I don't want to change my entire brand. I like to stick to my roots. And I've always been in a space of being very authentic, so I don't want to change it up. But I do realize that within the last 2 years, I've seen a lot of people rebrand. And what I noticed is when people are rebranding, they delete all of their old self. Like they delete on their socials, they delete all their videos, their pictures. And how I can respect it in a way, I don't love it. And the reason why I don't love it is because we want to see the evolution. And I tell people this all the time. We want to see the evolution. We want to see where you started and where you are now. And we want to see the process. I feel like a lot of times social media paints us, well, we paint ourselves, but social media helps us view things as perfect already. And so when we see it, we see the final product, but we don't see what people went through to get to that product. Even like today, I set this up. I had so many things. I had like a TV casting. I had a like a phone mirroring device, and none of it worked. None of them worked. And so I was like, this could be discouraging. I could stop and quit, but I'm not. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna thug it out. And so I'm like, I just gotta find another way, which I did. I found another way. Thank you, God. But it was a struggle. And so I think that now, especially with TikTok, I feel like people are showing the process. And not only with TikTok, but with Reels as well. People are showing the process of how things are done. And so we are falling in love with the process, like the struggle, being able to be relatable. So I feel like when people rebrand, you don't get to see the process, you don't get to see the evolution. And so as I've been going through a rebrand myself, I realized that I didn't want to delete the old me, but I did want to change some things as I progressed in life, and especially now in this season. So this season, I'm in mid struggle, and it's not a full struggle. It's like a small struggle of loving all things sexy because I love all things sexy. I don't know. It's just and I'm like, is that a spirit of lust and lasciviousness? But I'm like, it doesn't have to be provocative. It's just sexy. So I'm in the spirit of loving all things sexy. Well, I'm always been in a spirit is a bad word, right? I don't like it too much. But I've always been in a season of loving all things sexy. But then at the same time, when we're at church, we want to be modest. So when I go to church, which I go to church every Saturday, and yeah, Saturday, not Sunday, and we can talk about that in another episode, but right now we're talking about rebranding. And so I go to church, and I'm always like wanting to wear something cute, a little sassy. I don't want to be sexy at church, obviously, but I want to be sassy. I want to be like in a way like, ooh, I like her outfit. And I know that's not what we're going to church for, guys. I know. But there is a sister at our church that said that we need to dress like we're going on a date with Jesus. And I love that. And if anybody knows, I am a style girl. Like, I'm your style sister. I love fashion, clothes, style, luxury. I call myself a lifestylist because I'm really good at decor. I'm really good at organizing. I'm really good at just aesthetics. Yeah, I'm an aesthetics girl. So with that being said, uh, I love like the look of classy. I love the look of luxury, and you can still be sexy and be classy because I know there's a couple of styles I'll say I've seen that is sexy but also very provocative, and that's not where we're going. But I've always struggled because I'm like, especially when posting on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, I used to keep it very family friendly. Like, I would be very family friendly on Facebook, and then Instagram, I'm like, I'm popping my stuff. Okay, I'm about to look fire, and so I still have been taking fire photos, but I realize I'm not posting as much because I don't want to do too much per se, and I don't want to be overly sexy because I have people from church now that are following me on Instagram. So that has been a thing. A thing in itself is just like, and not that I'm trying to hide anything from anybody, but I um I want to be respectful to the people at church. You know what I'm saying? But if I go down to my old pictures, and this is why we're going back to rebranding. If I go down to my old pictures, I was spicy, like jalapeno spicy. Like, the girl was hot. And so toning it down a little bit, but keeping it still authentically me who loves all things sexy has been a challenge in my rebrand, if that makes sense. Because like I said, I don't want to be the person that deletes all of my old photos and you don't even know how I used to be. And then you just pop up and then now it's like this girl that's like still sexy in a way, but modestly sexy, and you don't see where I came from, like the evolution of it. And so I wanted to read a couple of scriptures out of the Bible, but honestly, I didn't prepare physically to be able to read scriptures because I don't have my head covering, and we can talk about that in another episode as well. But I know that there are a couple of Bible scriptures that talks about rebranding in a way, and so or references it, and so I will leave that in the description box so that people can see it. And just thinking back, I had a girlfriend and she has great content, amazing content. And I remember like looking for a video that like she made because I really liked it. And I was like, oh, I need to find this. And then it was gone. And I was like, oh my God, it's gone. But then I realized I'm like, oh, she's rebranding. And I was like, okay, I get it. But I really wanted to see one of the old, I wanted to see the show somebody like, oh, like this is what she does. This is one of my favorite videos, but it was gone. And then I remember looking at one of my Snapchats of me watching her YouTube videos, and that was the video I was looking for. And so that's why I'm always like, questioning people and asking why do you think, not even why, do you think it is necessary to delete all of the old um, branding of you, all the old images, all the old videos, all the old content when you are coming out with a new brand. And then I think about the references like Walt Disney. They rebranded so many times. And I don't know if we can go back and find all of the old things, which I think just because Google is everything now, we can. But um, when I look at the rebrand, I see like how like just the evolution, and I like to be able to see the evolution, just like Coca-Cola. If you take a look on like that brand with the bear, it's like it started with the bear, and now we don't even see the bear no more. But we know when we see that red and white that that's that drink preference. So I just think about that too. And when it comes to my brand, I'm not a fan of deleting all of my old stuff just to show up as a new person. But I want people to see my evolution and to see that I've changed and this is my brand now. And so even I have a fitness line, working on a swimsuit line, and a duster and blazer line. So kind of like a all overall clothing line. And I do have a symbol on my brand. And I love how some brands can go from a name to just a symbol. And when you see the symbol, you know it's their brand. And so I've learned to incorporate that into my brand myself. So when people see that symbol, they know it's my brand. So on my fitness clothes, like and all my items, you'll be able to see it. But on my fitness clothes, it's like a little star, and on the back of it, and you know that that's Sabertini Sport. So just thinking about rebranding, answer this for me in the comments, in the notes. When you think about rebranding, do you think it's necessary to delete all of the old parts of your brand to only show up as a new part? Or are you more like a person that wants to see, like me, wants to see the evolution of rebranding and wants to see the growth that somebody has made throughout the seasons of their brand and their life and how it grew and changed? What inspires you the most? And just tell me your thoughts on that. For me, I want to continue to rebrand and grow, and I want to be able to see my growth because sometimes we delete stuff off of social media, when we delete stuff off of social media, we might have a new phone, our phone might break, we might not have all that content, but social media will always have it. And so it's nice to be able to go to our page. And I know some people just archive this stuff, they don't delete it. I mean, now that we have the privilege to archive, because you used to not be able to archive, but we have the privilege to archive our stuff. So it's like, if you delete all of that stuff on social media and you get a new phone or drop your phone in water or whatever the case may be and can't pull up that old data, you've lost all the old things the old things that you're able to see and see where you grew from and where you are now. So in my season of rebranding, I know that I'm going in a spiritual, religious route, because I am a Christian, non-denominational Christian, and I know that I want to honor God in my brand, everything that I do. I just want to continue to study and make sure that I am being a good example for Christian witnesses. And so in my rebrand, I still want to be authentically myself, but also want to make sure that the people that are onlookers see that, oh, this girl love God. She's into God. She's like, she knows her words. She's studying. She's obedient. And we're not even going to talk about obedience. Maybe that need to be an episode on its own, because when I tell you getting this podcast done and being obedient was not something I was faithful to. And I think when you are not obedient, you miss out on a lot, and the people that need to witness whatever your gifts or your talents are miss out on a lot. So that'll be another episode too. But just wanted to jump in and ask some questions about rebranding, see how y'all felt about rebranding, and yeah, just check in with y'all on episode 1. So thank you for listening. If you are watching, thank you for watching. If you are doing both, thank you for giving me your full undivided attention. And I will see y'all on episode 2 of A Seat with Sabertini. Love y'all. Later. Thank you for watching. If you like this podcast, please respond with action, like, comment, and leave a review. Once again, I am Gabriella Sabertini, and thank you for listening.